Friends and colleagues, how are you? It's David Byrne in Austin, Texas. And we've got Dan Goldgeier in Seattle, Washington. How are things in Seattle today, Dan?
Everything is good. Everything is good. I'm noticing that you're not at Austin city limits like you were last week.
No, sir. I moved to Chad Rea's living room. Chad Rea, you may remember his name. He was the 86 and Onions originator.
Yep.
Who now lives in Austin. I had a good phone chat with him recently, and he's giving these backgrounds away for free on his website. So you can look him up. It's Rea, R-E-A.
Yeah.
Interesting guy who's doing art big time now, and got some interesting projects going. Check this out. If you're named Chad Rea, anyone else who's named that, he will paint you and send you the painting. Now, isn't that?
That's cool. How many Chad Reas are there in the world?
Well, apparently more than we think, because he's doing it on Instagram, and there's several paintings up there.
Well, there's only one other Dan Goldgeier in the world, so.
Well, he might send you a painting someday if you follow Chad's
he might, yeah.
lead. So we're here to talk about a few commercials that are out there today on the television and a couple other things. So I want to share the screen. Let's look at this Lexus commercial.
Of all the places you're looking forward to, where will you go first? Wherever you may go, Lexus will welcome you back with exceptional offers on exceptional vehicles. Find out all the ways a Lexus can be yours at Lexus.com. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Well, that's not, a terribly exciting commercial by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a Zoom chat either.
No. And Lexus, I think about a month ago, did a spot where they tried to pivot a little bit and said that they were not in the transportation business, they were in the people business. But I think they're back into the transportation business with, pretty straightforward on car spot. I'm sure that car dealers are getting pretty nervous right about now, having had a couple of months where people couldn't get into the showroom as easily as they wanted to.
This commercial was shot with a drone, and it seems like that drones and this approach is sort of the next evolution of our COVID-19 creative production situation. So it started with Zoom chats with multiple windows where you can see the consumer or whatever, whoever the CEO, whoever was in the frame. And now it looks like we've moved to another approach. Now, I don't think Lexus made a particularly great commercial out of that approach. I think it could have been better. And I want to look at this next commercial as an example of a mix of, I believe, stock photography and perhaps a few drone shots too, but a much more interesting motivational commercial. So we'll share the screen again. Here we go. This is from Specialized Bicycles.
Remember when you first learned to ride? The rush, the freedom, the thrill. But at some point between then and now, you stopped. You got off your bike for the last time. Now, there's a reason to get back on. Turbo. Forget everything you thought you knew about riding. Start over. Because Specialized Turbo is unlike anything you've ever experienced. It's not even a bike. It's 2 wheels of hair-raising power that will revolutionize the way you move. It's you, only faster. It's distance made shorter, uphills easier, downhills crazier. Turbo has the power to change the way entire cities live. It's a smarter future. The world's weapon against climate change. Yes, Donald, it's a real issue. So today, let's pedal the world forward by going back to basics. Let's learn to ride again.
Dan, I want to live in that world. That was neat. I like the commercial. It's from Goodby Silverstein. What do you see in the commercial that's worth talking about?
Well, what struck me, first off, I'm an e-bike owner. I've had one for about 3 years. And so I'm very familiar with what they can do. And they are cool. And once you get on one, you want to keep getting on one because it does flatten those hills. It makes it much more pleasurable to ride, especially in a hilly city like Seattle. So, but this is an interesting spot. There's a lot going on. It's a category sell trying to get me to try an e-bikes because it looks like Specialized is rolling out a bunch of them, including a mountain bike, which mountain bikes in the e-bike in mountain electric bikes are a little controversial right now. So this is trying to get some people to look at bikes in a brand new way. I know sales have been up big time in the last couple of months of bicycles across the board. It'll be interesting to see if Specialized can carve out a good position for its brand. It's a very crowded category with a lot of startups. Not just the established names are getting into this, and the price points are all over the place. That said, it's a fun spot. They obviously are trying to get people who have not considered being on a bike in a long time to reconsider with this new technology. And there's a dig at Trump too, and that kind of comes out of left field. But for this category, I think they're trying to sell the practicality of the bikes as well as the cool factor.
They're also weaving in this concept of the new sustainable and green world that is part of our conversation right now because we're not driving.
Yeah.
Foxes are running through downtowns with squirrels in their mouth.
Yeah.
Saw a Reuters photo
Nature
of
is healing.
exactly that from Toronto, and I'm like, this is just wild, and I love it. So
Yeah.
the re-greening of America and the world, and this commercial is clearly, of this time. It's tapping into that. Also, commercials are being made in post. This commercial is made in post, but it's psychedelic and colorful and fun and upbeat, and you want to get on this bike. So my hat is off to Goodby for making a commercial of this order in post. I think it's really well done.
Cool.
I want to share the screen and look at one more commercial during today's ad chatter. Hearts of Magic from Walmart.
In times of darkness, the sun still shines regardless, and I think that that's a reminder that light will always harness the power to break through fear. It's right here, right here. Our home stays home if we all just stay home and cherish all the memories and dreams left to fulfill. The one message that will reach cashiers at the till, will reach those stuck in the shelves, reach those asking for help. We play the cards we've been dealt, but together, I know that we have a fighting chance. Socially distant, but mentally we're holding hands. In this together, whatever endeavor, we will treasure the better times and recognize that we are an important part in each other's lives. As I send this message to men, women, and children, this world is our home, so we should all care for the building. The storm is raging on, but sun shines after a blizzard. I'm a Walmart wizard, an associate with Heart of Magic. Like all my Walmart family, together, we make it happen. We live better together. So together, let's make it happen.
He's a Walmart wizard. That's pretty cool. He wrote that himself. That's not a copywriter handing him that line.
Right. A lot of fun going on there. Great to see a young associate. I'm sure he's probably a hit at his store. I'm sure folks knew he had some talent, and it bubbled up through the corporate ranks, and they got him to film it. And it's funny. You look at there's a disclaimer right up at the front of the spot that said filmed after hours in a closed Walmart.
Yes.
Which you can tell it was, but that's also a nod to the safety that corporations are using right now. A lot of fun. I think this kid's got a bright future. I think it's fun to take somebody that works for your company and let them, show off their talents. And there's a lot of post work like you'd referred to in the previous spot. This one is brought to life in post.
But again, we're seeing a step back towards normalcy. This was actually shot with a crew. You can't see the crew.
Yeah.
You can only see him. So you mentioned not quite as safe as a drone commercial or a commercial made of stock footage, stock video. Nevertheless, the young man, who I believe was 17 years old, Terrell, a poet out of the Phoenix area. I want to salute Walmart for finding this Walmart wizard and elevating him. And it's a poem, so and elevating poetry. So I like it. I like it a lot. And
Yeah.
I want to end today's session with one more screen share. And let's look at this. Dan, this is a new portfolio school that's free, that was just created. I just read about it this morning. I basically know nothing about it,
Yeah.
other than what I see here, and I could read more. And this is at radvertisingschool.com, and it's connected to Reddit. Apparently, the first 50 people that sign up for the various classes are going to be part of an online Zoom course, and then those will be uploaded to Reddit, so more than the 50 can take part in the learning. It looks like a fantastic idea. I know that you both went to a portfolio school in Atlanta and also taught in a portfolio school in Atlanta and in Seattle. So what do you think here?
It's a great idea. And, thinking back to my experiences, I think, any sort of instruction about learning this business and learning the craft of doing advertising is dependent on the quality of the feedback you get and the quality of the people you collaborate with. And when both of those things are there, you can go, it can be great. And there's no reason why it can't be done virtually. For a lot of folks, it's just, you got to stick with it. You got to put in the time and learn where the creative bar is and how to jump over it. So hope it goes well. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
It seems like a lot of creative professionals are trying to do something to help others in this time of crisis. Now, many of us also have time on our hands
Yeah.
in order to do that. I don't know the backstory here. I need to dig in and learn more, but I did go to Reddit today and follow this. They have an area there that I'm following, and it looks like there's a lot of action and activity. So this looks like a really cool development that we're going to hear more about and want to learn more about. And I'm sure I'll bring it up to AdPulp in a story at some point in the next few days. So Dan, great to hear from you again. It's always fun to talk around the virtual water cooler.
It is. Thank you for everybody out there. Hope you enjoyed this.
Indeed. And let's talk around a real water cooler someday with beer in it or wine or something, or tequila.
That's phase 2 right there. Yeah.
Excellent. Talk to you next week, friends. Bye-bye, Dan.
Bye-bye.